What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Detroit Tech. This is the Detroit Tech Review, our bi-weekly tech news roundup. I'm Jeremy.
Corey.
And let's get into the news. We have, 3 or 4 or 5 something topics here. We're going to go over Tesla. They came out with some new stuff this past Thursday. Going to go over Amazon's new show. We have to talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2. Battlefront, not Battlefield 2. That's a different game. And then, of course, just a quick little update on why my phone is still awesome. So there's that. We'll actually start with why my phone is still awesome. I got an update.
Is it?
The colors are better. Shut up. So
They actually do look a lot better.
that's all. That's why I figured we'd just start with that.
It's true. The Pixel, it still has the off-axis stuff, but
Colors are brighter, saturated.
it's acceptable.
That's all I could ever hope for. So, going on to the real news, Tesla unveiled their truck, semi-truck, basically, and it looks freaking insane.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's not even opening the website for me, of course. Why would it? Anyway, so it's did they say anything actually about how much it costs?
So
for the truck?
they talked about cost of ownership in terms of comparing it to a diesel, and that it was cheaper in terms of
The cost of ownership.
which in terms of maintenance and fuel price, all that was rolled in.
Which is fair.
But he also said when he talked about that, he said I think it was like 20% cheaper in terms of cost of ownership, and he said that was worst case scenario, and that was like immediately. So like the longer you keep it, the better it gets. I think.
The longer you keep it, the better it gets. That's good. It's for one, it actually looks really cool. Mm-hmm. Like if there's ever a semi truck I wanted to drive, this would be it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that you sit right in the middle.
Yeah, that's nuts. So it's got middle with 2 giant screens.
Yeah.
I believe they're from the S.
Yeah, those are the same ones that's in the Model S.
Yeah, that's in the Model S. And then I believe one of them is all the normal stuff, and one of them something else. I don't even remember what they said it was.
I think one of them is basically like all the information about the truck and everything that's going on with it, and the other one is like you can have your maps and GPS.
They do have a second. There is a second seat here. It's like back right to the driver. So they are doing that. They do not have, which I guess I did hear about this. Some people were a little disappointed, I guess, with there's no place to sleep.
Yeah, it's definitely not a sleeper cab.
Although it might, I believe Elon did say something about it coming later.
Oh, I'm
or another
sure.
version or an option or something.
Yeah, I'm sure they will get to that. If it becomes successful, if people buy into it, there's no way if you start producing semi-truck trailers that you're not going to do that.
True. And I want to go over a couple of these numbers because they're insane, but I heard Meyer already ordered 4 of them.
Really? That's cool.
So
I mean, it does have some significant advantages over like a diesel.
Oh, yeah. So I think we need to contact Meyer and see if we can get a ride. Because
that'd be fun. That'd be really fun.
So a couple of things. So I guess we have to talk about speed first of all. So 0 to 60 time. Well, you drive what? A Ford Focus ST, right? Mm-hmm. Roughly, what's your 0 to 60?
I think it's over 6 seconds.
Seriously?
Yeah.
For Ford Focus ST?
Yeah.
This truck does it in 5.
Yeah, well, that's what you get with electric motors, man.
It has like 4 of them too, or something ridiculous. And also with a full 80,000 pound load, it gets a 0 to 60 in 20 seconds.
And that is way faster.
Like than
a traditional semi.
Like, yeah, I mean the 0 to 60 in 5 seconds compared to regular semi is really
absurd.
fast.
Yeah.
But that 20 seconds is nuts. I'm trying to see here how many motors it has, I
believe there's 4 motors, one for each of the rear wheels.
Okay.
And there's some stuff about it where, like, you compare it to other diesel trucks, it can do a 5% grade at 65 miles an hour,
which is nuts.
Versus like 45 for like a diesel truck, which if you ever driven like through the Appalachians with other trucks, it gets very frustrating.
It's the worst.
You know, they'll go super slow up and then they're just like blazing at, and like, so you can't
even pass them.
Yeah, right.
It's like the worst.
But
now I have to talk about the drag coefficient for a second.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know what the numbers actually mean, but I get the lower numbers.
Lower is better.
Yeah, I mean it's golf. We're good. So normal diesel trucks have a drag coefficient of 0.65 to 0.70.
which is pretty bad.
The Bugatti Chiron, I can't read.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, 0.38. So how much does that car cost? 1.7 million? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
Stupid amounts of money.
Yeah.
This new Tesla truck is 0.36.
Yeah, it's very sleek and smooth.
That's insane. It does have, if you have this, we're on Tesla Roddy for this one. It doesn't have. It has some really cool pictures of the cab, but doesn't have some. The inside of the cab doesn't have some cool outside pictures where like all the back like 6 wheels or whatever are all covered and like it's nuts.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But yeah,
some of the other cool things about it.
Nuts.
So it does like regenerative braking.
Oh yeah.
Which and it has, what is it? What's the range on it? 500 miles.
500 miles and can do 400 miles on a 30-minute charge.
Which honestly,
Tesla's special charger.
Yeah, but for a semi truck, like it's pretty close to. It's not that far off of what it actually takes to fill the tanks. And I don't actually know what's the normal range for a diesel truck.
I have no idea.
I don't either.
That is one thing I definitely don't know.
So I don't know how that compares in terms of how many times do you have to stop, but
yeah.
As if you were a trucker having to stop for 30 minutes, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, after basically 500 miles, which is a long time anyway.
400.
Well, no, you get the first. It's 500
so if you do continue to do it, right?
Yeah, oh sure, but even 400 miles is how many hours is that? How's long? What? That's a lot.
That's a lot. It is a lot.
So you got to stop and pee at some point anyway.
Yeah, right. And so I think most truckers know about they take a lot more time when they stop versus the normal person stopping at a gas station.
Yeah, probably.
But some of the cool things about it is that now you can set it up where these things can charge while they're dropping off their cargo.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you set up chargers at certain spots.
Which means basically it's going to take a while to drop that trailer off and unload it or whatever.
Yeah, it'll take some time to unload.
That's a huge advantage.
Especially if you're a union and you don't actually unload anything. I'm just saying. Yeah. That's from experience. Whatever. I'm not bashing unions. I'm just saying that happens.
So something like the brakes, like the regenerative braking, also means apparently he says you basically never have to do the brake pads on these things. Ever. Over 1 million miles or something like that.
But how? You still have brake. You still have to have brake pads, don't you?
So I'm not even 100% sure how that works. But
are they slowing down by magnets?
Well, yeah. Well, basically, so that's how it works. So you have an electric motor.
Field that it pushes against the
you have an electric motor that's spinning the wheel.
Yeah, right.
And then you just basically, when you're braking, you're reversing that to where the wheel is now spinning the motor reverse to charge the battery, and all that resistance comes from the magnets in the motor that when you're generating that charge the other way. So I'm sure
I am not an engineer
in terms of emergency braking or complete braking, you will need to use some of the brake pads. For the most part, going down a hill or whatever, you're just going to be feeding that directly back in, and you have no actual friction going on because it's all happening in the motor.
Huh?
And it's just that's one of the really cool things about it.
Also, quick question:
Sure.
Magnets, how do they work?
Yeah, right. It's miracles every day.
Any ICP fans out there, or not fans, just thought that whole
fans of the miracles
thing
video.
Just give us a thumbs up for that.
Anyway,
please. That's awesome.
It's got the full 80,000 pound load for the legal limit in the U.S.
God, I think it's crazy.
I think it's pretty cool. I think actually the press liked it, shareholders liked it,
and it's just honestly, it is just it's a cool piece of tech. It's a giant and expensive piece of tech, but it's really freaking cool because they're pushing the limits.
The one thing we also didn't talk about is it has a lot of their self-driving stuff built in.
Oh, that's right.
So it's got the automatic braking, it's got the lane keeping,
and they can do some crazy stuff with convoying too.
Yeah. So
I don't think they went into it real deep, but you can have 2 or 3 of them in a row, and they can do some crazy crap.
As far as I can tell, it seems like a pretty genuinely good option.
It does.
But who knows when you'll actually get one.
Or if they can actually produce them at...
That's what I'm saying.
At
scale.
Whatever. Scale, thank you. Because they're having a hard time with the
Model 3.
Model 3. And almost a Model T. And I was I'm pretty sure it's not...
Consider it the Model T of electric cars.
I don't think that's correct. No, but that would be the initial Roadster.
Yeah, but no. See, this is the Model T. The Model T is once you got into full on...
But I was trying to use that as a segue.
Yeah, so
wow.
just a second. We're very good here. But that was an excellent segue. It's a total sequitur. It's a non sequitur.
I don't know if that's a thing. Anyway.
So the thing they also introduced was the new Tesla Roadster.
Yeah, which
is amazing.
Which has supposedly...
if it exists.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start out with, I don't know, it's coming soon, TM.
Which with Tesla
like,
is pretty
so
bad,
2020. Yeah. So basically the same year the Detroit is getting an MLS soccer team.
Which may or may not happen.
Yeah. That's a whole other, like, 70-minute conversation.
Yeah.
But this thing has a 200 kilowatt hour battery.
Which is basically double.
I think it's double what the Model S has, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, which is insane. So giving it a theoretical 620-mile range or over 1,000 kilometers, which I'm pretty sure...
That's the first one.
There we go. First one. And it does... What's the... give me some stats, Corey.
So... and like Elon actually said this at the event. He's like, these numbers sound like they're fake and unbelievable. But they're not. So the 0 to 60 time is 1.9 seconds, which, if you know anything about like performance cars,
ludicrous.
So they already had ludicrous mode in the Tesla P600 or whatever. But
he talks.
This is great, and I think actually MKBHD already put his.
He did a video out about this. He's sitting in his car.
He put his pre-order in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So he was deciding whether or not to, but then he.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So anyway, 1.9 seconds is mind blowing. Like the fastest hypercars are like
what's
2.4.
What's your fastest motorcycle you've had?
I don't even know, but not that fast.
Okay, that's fair.
Not that fast.
You would flip right off the back. There's
I'm
no
telling
way.
you, like the only way you can do this is with the control you can get and the torque you can get.
Yeah.
Out of having electric motors,
because it's instantaneous torque.
That and like it also allows you to maintain grip and acceleration.
Oh, a lot easier because of the
because you don't have to deal so much with like a differential and all of that.
Yeah, that's true.
So amazing 0 to 60 time.
And in a nod to Paul Walker, R.I.P. It does a quarter mile in 8.9 seconds.
And that is also mind-boggling.
Which is just ridiculous
for a production vehicle. Those two numbers like blow every other car like out of the water when it comes to production.
Which is amazing. But it's insane.
And it also has a top speed he's saying is above 250 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah, which beats the Koenigsegg.
Which beats like basically almost everything too.
Well, that's true.
So
and 0 to 100 in 4.2 seconds. Which is also nuts.
The new Koenigsegg technically can do like 277 or something, but whatever.
There
are some. So
yeah, the new one 277.9.
Before you get too crazy, comparing
TM, we'll say that.
Well, that too, but like comparing it to a traditional hypercar kind of thing is not really fair because you're not going to have this level of performance while you're doing track lap after track lap after track lap.
True.
Every car.
Well, the battery's going to overheat for sure.
Yeah, so it's not going to be the same. But for every type of normal person's fun driving, it's going to blow your mind.
I'm not getting it for a couple of reasons. One, can't afford it.
Clearly.
2, I will probably get arrested. And then 3, I'll die.
Yeah, probably all those things.
Just all of those things.
It has 3 electric motors, one for each wheel in the back and one for the 2 in the front.
And it has a cool, I don't know, what would you call that steering wheel? Almost an F1 style steering wheel?
It's an F1 style for sure.
Yeah, F1 style steering wheel.
Yeah.
But it's all brushed aluminum and
I hadn't seen much of the interior.
Super fancy.
Looks pretty cool.
And it's got, what's that, a Targa hood?
Targa top kind of thing, yeah, where you can remove the roof. It's a 4-seater.
It's a 2+2.
Correct.
I think is what they call it, which means you could fit infants. If they have to actually sit in the seat like a normal person, I don't think they'll fit.
It is possible. But yes, not great. But it also is supposed to have good storage too still, so I mean
that's fair.
Just take a look at a picture of it.
You can't have storage because the motors are you're sitting on top of the motors.
Well, the motors are at the wheels, basically.
Well, yeah, but there's no hood.
The battery.
It's not like it's a back or rear engine.
You have a trunk and a frunk.
Yeah, you have both. Yeah. It's perfect. Or a boot and a
food.
No, that's the thing.
So, anyway, check it out. It's pretty cool.
My wife is getting some stuff out of the kitchen, and she actually laughed at that. And that was not rehearsed. I
bet she could fit in the back of it.
I mean, it could probably hold the Zebbra's head.
Definitely in the front.
In the front. Top Gear fans, also thumbs up. All right, so moving on. Let's see here. Amazon is going to be having a new TV show. Again, I think this is soon TM.
Yeah, this is just an announcement.
This probably isn't TM, though.
The announcement is basically that they made the deal.
Yeah, okay. Lord of the Rings show coming on Amazon. And that is interesting. Honestly, I'm not even sure what to think about it. And I know that sounds bad considering, well, you know, I don't know if everybody here knows. I'm a big Tolkien fan.
Huge.
Tolkien. I will give you this caveat. I'm a Tolkien fan, not a Lord of the Rings fan.
You can already tell he's pretentious about it too.
100%.
But to be fair, I think all of us, based on The Hobbit, have a little bit of bad taste in our mouth about branching off into the Tolkien universe.
Yes, the Lord of the Rings was very good.
Oh yeah.
The more I've watched it, the less I've actually liked them.
Really?
The more I watch them, I still enjoy watching all the Weta Workshop stuff. All that stuff is fascinating, but the more I watch them, the more the omissions and whatnot are glaring.
Okay, but
Tom Bombadil, I'm not worried about Tom Bombadil.
I'm just telling you, like,
he was never going to be in it.
All books turned into movies, like
probably one of the best.
One of the greatest.
100%. I will give you that
because you just can't fit all that.
No,
even
you can't.
85 hours or whatever all the extended editions add up to.
So big,
but
correct. So yeah. Anyway, so Lord of the Rings show, basically a Game of Thrones.
That's what they're going for.
Replacement competitor, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a prequel.
And they're
to
pretty
the
vague about it.
Hobbit / Lord of the Rings. Hobbit happened, if you're not aware, Hobbit happened before Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. It's how the whole ring.
But it's still within a Hobbit's lifetime.
But they're still within, there's a space of about 50 years or so in between them. Yeah. So Hobbits live 100 or so. So I have to not get real deep.
I was going to say,
trying
this
really
is a dangerous territory to branch into.
So, yeah, and that's like it. They're just...
I don't know. Like, so it could be stuff from
just weird.
The Silmarillion. It could be stuff from Aragorn's past or whatever.
Yes.
I think what it comes down to is Christopher Tolkien, who is managing the trust or whatever it is for Tolkien's estate.
Yeah.
Is 93 now, and he's basically just given up. He's like, I think we've accomplished some good movies and gotten all the books out, I think, that they wanted to publish, finally. Because I think they just recently released another one, didn't they?
Gosh, I'm not even sure.
But either way, he's basically just said, I give up.
Yeah.
Hollywood, here you go.
Yeah. So, actually, Coach, I might be wrong. So, preceding the Fellowship of the Ring. So, it might run in line with The Hobbit as well.
Interesting.
Because, well, they showed Gandalf stuff during The Hobbit, but Aragorn is obviously not in The Hobbit. So, he's clearly doing something. So it might be there, and The Verge says
it might be more than one show too.
Well, they have
a spin-off or something.
If you get the actual rights to, it depends on how they write the contract, obviously. But if you get rights to Tolkien's works, you have a stupid amount of stories and just everything to go through.
Yeah, I think
going to the Silmarillion, and then there's separate books that they published that happen inside the Silmarillion, and it's nuts.
Let's slow down here.
I don't know.
Anyway,
cool.
And sorry,
there's a lot of
thanks Windows 10 for ruining my life as you always do.
Microsoft, we love you.
So
also price tag. We have to talk price tag because The Verge actually did talk about price for a little bit.
Okay.
Price range of $200 to $250 million.
And I get that.
That's Amazon money, bro.
I get it. Amazon, Netflix are throwing around money like crazy. The thing is, if they're really trying to make it like a Game of Thrones, I don't think there is actually as much crossover between Game of Thrones, like watchers and fans, and the fans of Lord of the Rings as people might think.
I think there's definitely a crossover. However, I think there are a ton of people who are Game of Thrones series fans,
right?
Like not book, but like TV series fans that have not and probably will not read the books. I've met a ton of people that are Lord of the Rings movies fans have never and will never read the books.
Yeah.
But Lord of the Rings is not Lord of the Rings Tolkien stuff. There's really no sex involved in it.
It's not the gritty like.
Yeah, there's war and that sort of stuff, but there's no like. I didn't.
It doesn't.
I didn't even finish the first book.
The bad, like
I didn't even finish the first book of Game of Thrones, Fire and Ice or whatever it is. I couldn't. Everybody died. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's
totally
different.
But even just that book, I never watched the show, but even in that book, there's like lots of gratuitous stuff.
Yep,
and Tolkien has none of that.
Yeah, so they'd have to fabricate all that. I think, and a lot of fans,
if they did that, and
a lot of fans of his stuff would not necessarily.
I would not like that. I would think it would be honestly dishonorable to the man himself.
I agree. However, because I think before we go too deep, we need to just move on.
That's fine.
Until we know more.
Until we know more. That's true. Yeah. But anyway, I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
Let's.
No, we already talked about that. I went through that. That was the first thing I said.
Is it?
Yeah, I said my phone's still awesome.
Yeah, you did.
Even better. And then you said, well, that's it. So now we have to talk about what's our timer at?
We got a couple minutes.
We have time.
So
EA
and Star Wars Battlefront, man. Battlefront 2. Yeah, no. Nobody. I don't think anybody's doing that.
No.
And Disney's not doing that either. So
no,
Battlefront 2 has been all over the news, and not, well outside of traditional like gaming news. It's all over everybody. The Guardian and all sorts of people are doing.
Everybody's pissed.
If you hadn't noticed,
silence my phone now. Don't mind me.
Everybody is pretty upset about Battlefront 2 and the pay-to-win structure of microtransactions that was put into the game by EA and DICE. I don't know who you could actually blame for it, but DICE is the...
I hope you blame EA more than DICE, because I feel like DICE just wants to make good games. At least I hope.
I agree. I like to still think that the developers actually developing the game are trying to make a good game and a solid piece of art.
And then they get told from the big guy upstairs to add stuff that everybody hates.
However, it's clear that this was not added as an afterthought. It was built as a core part of this game.
Yeah, yeah.
So you could pay to get things that make you better than other people when you're playing in multiplayer, and that's just not good.
Yep.
So what's really interesting is what this has done to the industry kind of as a whole. Now you have, because you can pay money for these loot boxes, which just basically gives you a random chance to get certain upgrades. And it sounds a bit like gambling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it probably is a bit like gambling. And it also is a little bit concerning when you consider the whole video game medium is somewhat targeted towards children.
Yeah.
Especially with the Star Wars IP.
Although, yeah, for sure.
There's a whole lot of older people that stick with the Star Wars too. But
us.
Correct. But yeah, so...
NVIDIA, you want to send me any of your XP graphics, Star Wars graphics cards?
Yes, please.
We're fans.
But so, there's been a whole lot of controversy about this. Lots of backlash from fans.
So nuts.
EA decided to do an AMA on Reddit, and they got the number one downvoted comment in the history of Reddit.
Almost 700,000 downvotes.
Correct. So
with like 7 upvotes.
Yeah. So
so bad.
After that, and then apparently after an executive from Disney ended up calling the executives at EA came out with this really vague, really rushed, we are temporarily removing all the microtransactions.
I did not realize Disney talked to him about that first.
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize that.
So they don't want people breaking their shiny Star Wars IP and tarnishing it. So
it's the worst idea ever.
So yeah, so they've temporarily removed it, but they've definitely left some vague language in there where we're bringing it back, just we don't know how yet.
Right.
And I think they might just be ducking like...
It's just weird, because like I get when Overwatch does their stuff.
Mm-hmm. The loot boxes?
Yeah, the loot boxes. It's a skin.
It's called cosmetic.
It's all cosmetic. It literally does nothing. The only, in theory, impact it could is if you camouflage better with whatever map you happen to play.
Yeah.
But you can't even switch your skin after you know the map. So
yeah.
In all like intents and purposes, like zero like advantage.
Right.
So, and I mean, I don't know, the only person that could in theory even, I've never heard of a gamer who's okay with pay to win, even if they're rich.
So I think the only times people don't get super angry about it is if the game's pricing model is already free to play.
Correct. Yeah, that's fair.
Or it's like if you get the game
but
for
mostly
free,
that's
and you
mobile
get an
games
advantage,
mostly
you pay
anyway.
I know, but there's a bunch of online games too.
I guess World of Tanks is a little bit like that.
There's quite a few games like that.
I guess I don't play a lot of free to play games. I probably should.
Right, but
Save some money.
but you do run into this kind of thing a lot.
True,
So-
but it's already free to play.
Yeah, so it's hard
That's
to
the thing.
argue.
And why are you spending? It's hard to argue. I spend $60 on a freaking game.
$60 or $80?
Yeah, and then I have to spend another $60 or $80 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? I could probably spend $400 because it's loot boxes.
Mm-hmm. So anyway,
it's stupid.
yeah, I agree. Are we still recording? We are. Okay, but
we're professionals.
it's also created some controversy in Europe. A couple countries are now looking at the whole loot box thing in all video games as whether or not it's gambling and should be regulated as such. And I can't really blame them.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a shame that
I hope they would make a distinction between cosmetic loot boxes and non.
I don't know if
Like
they
with
should,
Overwatch,
because I think it has the same addictive personality problem and child problem.
Overwatch, you can pay for the
And like
for loot
kids can
boxes.
be like, oh my god. So
Yeah, I don't have a child, but I wouldn't want my kid just like spending
it's definitely
however much on
just
anything
brought this up as an issue for the whole industry as a whole.
which is actually pretty good. And yeah, which is actually
It's a shame it
That's
had
a
to
good
be
thing.
Star Wars. I still haven't bought Battlefront 2, by the way, even though I really want to because it looks like it's a lot of fun. It's just a shame that
it looks like it's a fun game to play.
it looks like it's just a shame that this kind of thing. I do kind of want to make a stand about it.
That's fair.
But yeah, so
That's fair.
anyway,
So that's all we had. Yeah, we'll be back in another 2 weeks. Thanksgiving is this Thursday. I'm gonna say go Lions.
Turkey Day.
Don't be Lions. Actually win the game. Thank you. And we'll see you guys next time.